Okay, today we are going to cover the DX-17. Okay, so right away, let's look at one of the reasons I bought this, because I was very happy with the 340 and the new gen of Marksman pistol. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so basically the Germans took the Marksman engineering and just made some changes and made some improvements depending on how you see it. One of them was putting an integrated rail on here, which is a master move. You can put a laser on there. I chose to go with the flashlight unit, and let me explain. I went into this with the idea of making it into a barrel weight to control the harmonics and the firing behavior of the gun. And so I use a different angle. Most people would think laser. No, I am considering getting a more expensive unit like this that has a flashlight and a laser. But right now I'm doing this. Okay, so did it work? Yes, it did. And this one was just 99 cents, very competitive on Pyramid Airs. And for a barrel weight, I was happy. And it does work as a flashlight and did work at shooting in darkness. Okay, so there's that. And then the big one is the trigger. The Germans decided to improve that to where you literally just pick up some slack. There is a small first stage and then it shoots. Okay, so now let's talk about what the critics say, which is potentially competition. Other companies, is they say the trigger jammed, this link in the back that's like a rivet, that this breaks and the slide comes off. Okay, I heard all that and I prepared for it. So I lubed this thing out of the package with Ballistol, which is another fine German product. I don't think Umarex would be upset about this. This is friendly to the gun. It doesn't cause any harm. It's white mineral oil. I was also very impressed that, like the Red Ryder that I use it on, one Red Ryder I have, is that there's no smoking, no de-sling. It's very friendly, and it does a great job. So, okay, so we'll get to more maintenance later on. And so let's take a look at how you shoot this. So the grip I came up with, and it was for the Marksman originally, and because of what? Because of that trigger. All right, is finger in front on that trigger guard, push it into my palm, and then thumb on the faux release right here. So it's like that. Also, as far as people saying that anchor rivet breaks off, there's a certain way I knew I was going to handle this gun. I'll show you. Now, see, with the Marksman, it doesn't do that because they have an E-clip on the inside. And so what that is neat, how that is neat, is that when the spring or the piston gives out, you can take this apart and salvage parts and look at it and salvage parts for another gun. And same as the Daisy 340, and that's very cool. Okay, let's take a look at this. So, all right, so we're going to hold it like this. We're going to use that grip. And the main thing with the real handgun is they have you push and pull. You pull back and you push. You're using both hands. Or they say drive the train through the station. So it's like that. We're going to do another version. And so you don't have to be big and strong to operate this. Another complaint about these spring guns. I teach people to aim them down and then push and pull with a slingshot, though. More of a slingshot movement. Push and pull. Push and pull. Okay? And remember that when you do it like that, always tip it up afterwards before you acquire your target. You do that, and then you acquire your target because it loads a BB, so you never dry fire. Okay, so the way I do it, I aim down like that, and disengage the slide, push it forward, tip it up, and then get my grip, and okay. Now, another thing I want to talk about is where to aim this. Both of these guns, including the Marksman, both shoot high and to the left, and that's been documented, especially with this one. So I find it fascinating. The Germans made their own version of the Marksman, and they both shoot high and to the left. So here's a can. So with this gun, with the DX, I put the front sight right there, so roughly right here, okay? And then on that other one, I put it right there. So the 1018's right here, the front sight, and this one is just underneath the can on the right. Both of them on the right side. But the DX does best with this underneath the can, just like that. Now this can you see here, I'm pretty happy with, because doing the carnival gun tricks, I filled it with water, flattened out the front. The first shot went right through it, so it's as powerful as my 340, a 340 in good operating condition. The second shot punched through here. The third shot cracked up here, but didn't punch through. So the power's good, the accuracy good, and on this power testing I was 3 out of 4, and 2 of those 3 hits, and then 2 of them punched through one side and went all the way through. So that's good. The main thing is, remember, please aim at this corner with the DX-17 unless you get a laser. So I'll link to a video that he did do that. He uses a rest and uses a laser, and he got really good accuracy. I only shoot standing straight up. I was told by a cop, or if I'm serious about the handgun training of it, to shoot only standing straight up offhand. So that's what I do. So I don't shoot at paper pop cans. So, all right, so let's take a look now at the attributes of this gun and compare it to the 1018. So first of all, let's go ahead and cock it and take a look in there. Okay, now the big one is the safety. There was a lot of complaints about the Marksman because you don't get full control of the safety when you want to use it. Only when the gun's basically cocked and charged and ready to shoot, and then the safety you can use. With this one, the Germans redesigned it so that as soon as I charge that, okay, the spring is cocked, I can push that safety in. And that's very cool. Because, okay, so now you cannot pull the trigger while you're setting up to shoot the gun. So that's good. So that's a change. Okay, on top of a great trigger as I described. And let's look at the loading area. Now on the Marksman, they want you to, well, you have to basically keep a finger there and load it with your other hand, or it's kind of like a mousetrap. It can shut because it has a spring in there, a torsion spring. So you need to keep a finger here while you load with the other hand. So they made a change there, and what you do is you open it up right here, and then the BBs go in there. My unit takes 14. They say 15. Mine takes 14. Also, the Germans don't say it's a dart gun or anything else. It's just a BB gun. So you put them in there, and then you use a little bit of force and push that back down. So that's nice. Okay, so I consider that an improved barrel or break barrel loading area, improved safety, improved trigger, which is the huge one. And then, of course, this, I chose to go with a barrel weight and flashlight. And I say it in that order. Barrel weight flashlight, you can go with the laser, and I may choose to do that in the future. I'm really having fun with this gun. So, all right. So let's talk about maintenance. Now, I went with Ballistol, and I gave it a good dousing when I first got it because of the concerns about the trigger and people saying that part breaks back there, and I have not seen any problems. So the next run through, the Germans want you, the Umarex that is, wants you to oil this, what they call a cylinder rod, every 1,000 shots. That's a little conservative. I'm going to go ahead and use Ballistol, which is at least as good as RWS Petroleum, about, every 500 shots. 500. I'll take a look at it and see how it looks, but I'll go as soon as every 500 there. And now I want to show you something else. We're going to zoom in really tight, and the thing is, this is different than the Marksman. I got a long slide there. The Marksman has a stubby slide, it's shorter by almost half the length. The thing about the German one is that it allows me access to the piston sear. And I'll show you that. And I know that's because I gently squeeze the trigger without firing it. Don't shoot the gun when it's cocked. But it's right. Let me get the angle right for you. There we go. Right there. There. It's right there. Right below my finger. That's a beautiful shot. So when I oil that cylinder rod, I'm also going to get in here and get on that piston sear. That is very, very cool. And when you pull your trigger blade, that releases your piston. So there's a beautiful shot of it. Okay, glad I can catch that for you. So anyway, so that's very cool. The Germans did a nice job redesigning and really improving in many ways, honestly, on the Marksman design. So I'm going to go check this as soon as 500 shots to see if I need to put some Ballistol there. Okay, you can also use 30 SAE non-detergent. So there, and on the piston sear, because I have access to it in this gun. Very cool. Okay, so that's everything you need to know. And remember, please, these guns tend to shoot high and to the left, both of them, including the Marksman. And you can choose to go with a laser with this. That's a nice option. I'll leave another link to what I'm looking at, where I get the barrel weight, means 3 AAAs, and it puts weight on the gun and gives a great shooting behavior. And the more expensive one has LEDs and a laser. So anyway, I think this is a great fun gun, and I love shooting it, and it is my most accurate one. The Daisy 340 can keep up with it, but this feels so nice to shoot with the combination of a very nice trigger and a stable platform because of the barrel weight. Okay, Thank you, and enjoy the DX-17.